Alrighty, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Neil. Hope you guys are having a good morning here. We are now on to the March 2024 contract. So if you can see here on the market analyzer, a lot more volume going on today on the new contract compared with the last. And yesterday, technically, it was just breaching into higher volume. So here we are on the March 2024 contract, and what do you know? Our first expected resistance pocket, which was 94 to 99, is exactly where the market popped to here when the CPI news came out about an hour ago, half hour ago, and failed from. Okay, came right to this level. I gave you this level last night for everyone that's a member in the room. Gave you 94, 99. This is a gap that hasn't been filled in, I don't know, more than 6 months now, I think. So we came up, came right to the gap zone, and now we're pulling back, interestingly enough. All right, so let's take a look at what happened here yesterday. Now, again, if you guys don't have these new levels, you're going to have to go ahead and open up the Excel spreadsheet that I sent out and start plotting them on your chart. I am going to eventually have some type of indicator that you just put all the numbers in the first time all these levels are created, and then they'll be in the indicator. So eventually we'll get that going. But let's take a look here at what happened. I believe what happened is before the open, or just before the open here, I told you I was going to get short to see if we could come down to our first expected support, which was a little bit lower. Now, we were on a different contract, so the levels we were targeting down below aren't the same levels that we're seeing down below now. Or relative to the previous contract, they're in the same area, but they're different values, right? So I got short. I grabbed 5 points out of it because I had multiple contracts, and then was targeting much further. And as you guys can see, the market open. We held the hopeful, we held VWAP, but then it just never went anywhere. And then I got out when it came back, because at that point I told you guys on the previous contract we were looking at 46.01 as the trouble zone that I wanted to see the bears get through for my short. I believe my short was right around here, and I wanted to see it get through 46.01 on the old contract. So 46.01 was the level I wanted to see break, and they came down and they literally just held it and held it and held it and held it and held it, and then came all the way back. So at that point I got out. So what happened yesterday is a nice trend higher. Of course, once the market opened for the first hour, it was a total chop fest. So I walked away at some point because it wasn't really going anywhere, wasn't giving me a lot of faith in the direction. But if you step back and look, we actually finally held VWAP, and then finally got up through the 200 and the scaffolding that was major resistance all morning. So by about 8 a.m. Pacific, it started to become clear as what you wanted to do, but then it came right back. Right, so let's take a look at everything here. Not necessarily the most sexy stuff going on, but they did hold hopeful on multiple pullbacks here. In fact, this pullback, I mean, it broke by a couple ticks. This wasn't even more than a 1.5 break. So you could have bought the pullback and then captured the rally out. But if you were looking to get long as we broke through the high, you would have probably been screwed, right? So we pulled back and held Holy Orange power level, got back up through the VWAP, and then from there had a really nice, easy afternoon. So if you missed out in the morning, there was some good opportunity as we were breaking back out. And let me move this over here. As we were breaking back out through the high of the day before and the high of the day. And from there, you could have bought the pullbacks to the 200 to bring you to that high of the day there yesterday. Now, in the overnight session, we're continuing to push. And then again, like I said, interestingly enough, we just failed. This brand new roadmap level that we just put on the charts is exactly where we fell from. And this is the expected gap that we expect there to be potential rotation from. So not too surprising that that's what happened here. Still holding over the 200 throughout the whole overnight session here. Even on the pullback when the CPI news release hit, they basically just parried off our roadmap level to the downside, to the upside. And then as you can see, once we failed from the expected resistance area, we are now getting a deeper pullback, right? Holding the back end of the FMA the whole way down. And that brings us here to our pre-market for this morning. So let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames.